Hi everyone, Peter here with TheReadingTutors.com and another episode of our reading blog. Today I'm going to talk about the question, why can't my child read well? Try to address that question. I'm often asked that question by parents who are frustrated. They realize that their child does not read well and doesn't seem to be improving. They may also have trouble with spelling and anything related to written language. I wanted to address one of the most common reasons they may be having trouble with reading. So, one of the most common reasons that a child has trouble with reading is because of poor phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is just sort of a fancy term that means a child's knowledge of the sounds that letters and letter combinations make. So their knowledge of phonics, that's what phonemic awareness is. Now, if a child has a very poor knowledge of phonics, they're going to have a difficult time spelling and reading. In reading, they're going to tend to stumble over words a lot. They'll try to memorize words instead of actually reading them and sounding them out. The reason why they avoid sounding them out is because they aren't able to. They don't know what the letters and letter combinations say. So as a result, they get stuck a lot. They tend to guess at a lot of words. Since they don't know how to actually sound words out and don't know what letters and letter combinations say, they tend to guess a lot as they go on. They'll see the first couple letters of a word and they'll just sort of add in the rest and then they'll rush on to the next thing. Or they may simply try to just brush over words they don't know and they'll end up reading a sentence with maybe 5, 6, 7 words missing. Or maybe less than that, maybe a couple of words missing as they go along. So that is an extremely common cause of poor reading and poor spelling in children. Now, of course, the question is, why do they have poor phonemic awareness, or why don't they have a good knowledge of phonics? It depends on how they were taught to read. Now, there are some schools that emphasize phonics, but there are a lot of schools that do not emphasize phonics. They emphasize more what's called a whole reading approach, where children may learn the basic letter sounds, but they don't learn any more complex phonetic sounds after that, and then they simply are expected to start reading. Now, for some children, it makes this problem confusing because for some children, this is enough. They tend to absorb the phonetic rules and phonetic sounds even if they are not specifically being taught them in a structured environment. So if they learn the basic sounds, they'll start to do some basic reading and they'll pick up the other ones as they go along. And as a result, they're able to start reading quite well without necessarily having a long structured approach to reading, a phonics-based approach to reading. So this does work with some children. However, there are many children for whom this approach does not work. They're not able to pick up on phonetic sounds and rules just simply by learning the basic ones or just jumping into reading and going along. And as a result, they just never get comfortable with phonetic sounds. They never get a good knowledge of them. And this leads to all kinds of problems. The different ones I was mentioning before, of course. In spelling, they're completely getting lost every time they spell because they don't know what the different sounds are. Sometimes just the difference in basic sounds like between short vowel sounds, between what the short A says and the short I says, or the short I and the short E. They may not know what vowel combinations like AI say, or EI, or EY. So as a result, this is a constant stumbling block, and they continue to have difficulty with reading and spelling as they go on, even though they keep getting the same sort of help at school and the same approach to reading. That approach just never really takes with them. It doesn't start to work because they're simply not picking up on the rules and absorbing the rules in that method. They need a structured phonics-based approach to reading. And this is very common. There are a lot of children, in fact, who just never get to that point where they're comfortable with that approach, and they need an alternative. And also, even with children who do seem to be able to learn to read fairly well with this method, they may still struggle when they face difficult words or multi-syllable words that they don't simply know by looking at and can't sort of guess at. They may have struggle sounding those out. Even though they read fairly well, since they don't have a good foundation of phonics, they have a hard time when they get to anything that really tests them or requires them to sound words out. So A good way to tell if your child is having difficulties like this is just simply to have them read out loud to you. If they read out loud to you and they're mixing up words, mixing up the ends of words, if they're skipping words as they read, maybe, they read a sentence of 8 words, they miss 2 of them. These are all things that are fairly easy to point out when you have a child reading to you out loud. If you follow along with them in the book, you're going to see when they're making mistakes, and you can start to say, oh, they're clearly having some issues. They need a different approach to reading. The good news is, if they are having trouble like these, a structured phonics-based approach to reading will help them improve. That's absolutely what they need, and that is the answer to helping them improve their reading. So that is what you want to pursue with them. And also, one-on-one help, always a wonderful thing to get for them. That's a tough thing to find in school a lot of times, but you can get that with private reading tutoring. For example, the online reading tutoring program that we offer at TheReadingTutors.com, that one-on-one help that they get in a program like that is really something that's extremely valuable and is going to help them make a lot of progress. So thanks for watching today. If you have any questions at all or comments, please feel free to post them. I'm always happy to answer your questions, and I love to see your comments. You can find more information about reading issues at our website, www.TheReadingTutors.com. You can also find out about our online reading tutoring program there and details about that. Also, please subscribe if you would like to get more segments of our online reading blog. And feel free to send us an email from one of the contact forms on our website if you'd like to check out our online tutoring or if you have any questions. So thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.